In the dim glow of a rainy evening, as thunder rumbled like a distant warning, Elena stepped into the quaint little cafe, her heart pounding with a mix of anticipation and dread, only to lock eyes with a man who looked utterly ordinary: faded jeans, a worn leather jacket, and a smile that seemed too genuine for the polished world she inhabited. Little did she know, this blind date, arranged by a well-meaning friend, would unravel her carefully constructed life, revealing layers of deception, vulnerability, and a love that money could never buy. As the rain battered the windows like forgotten regrets, Elena sat down, her designer purse clashing against the chipped wooden table, and in that moment, the universe conspired to test her soul in ways she could never have imagined. If you believe in the power of kindness and second chances, hit that like button, drop a comment below sharing your own story of unexpected love, share this video with someone who needs a reminder that true worth isn't in wealth, and don't forget to subscribe to Gentle Hearts for more tales that touch the soul. Elena's life had always been a whirlwind of ambition and isolation, a high-powered marketing executive in the bustling heart of New York City, where skyscrapers pierced the sky like ambitious dreams, and success was measured in boardroom victories and luxury apartments overlooking Central Park. At 32, she had climbed the corporate ladder with relentless determination, her days filled with strategy meetings, client dinners, and the endless hum of her smartphone, but her nights were a silent echo of loneliness, a void that no promotion could fill. Her friends, a circle of equally driven women, often teased her about her perpetual single status, insisting that she needed to let go of her impossibly high standards, standards born from a childhood marked by her parents' bitter divorce, where her father's wealth had masked his emotional absence, leaving her mother heartbroken and destitute. Elena vowed never to repeat that cycle, seeking a partner who matched her in status and security, someone who could provide the stability she craved. So when her best friend Sarah set up this blind date, describing the man as charming and down-to-earth, Elena agreed, picturing a fellow professional, perhaps in finance or tech, someone who understood her world. But as she faced Alex across that modest table, his calloused hands suggesting manual labor rather than manicured boardrooms, a flicker of disappointment stirred within her, though she masked it with a polite smile, ordering a simple coffee to match the unpretentious setting. The evening unfolded in unexpected ways, the cafe's warm aroma of fresh-baked bread and steaming espresso weaving through their conversation like a gentle thread, pulling Elena into a narrative she hadn't anticipated. Alex spoke of his days working as a mechanic in a small garage on the outskirts of the city, fixing cars for families who couldn't afford the big chains, his voice carrying a quiet passion for the satisfaction of making things run smoothly again. He shared stories of his modest apartment, cluttered with books and tools, and how he spent weekends volunteering at a local shelter, helping repair bikes for underprivileged kids. Elena, accustomed to dates filled with boasts of exotic vacations and stock portfolios, found herself listening intently, her initial reservations melting under the authenticity of his words. Yet, beneath the surface, doubts gnawed at her. How could she, with her upscale lifestyle and mounting pressures from her social circle, envision a future with someone so seemingly mismatched? As the rain softened to a drizzle outside, they lingered longer than planned, laughing over shared memories of childhood dreams, and for the first time in years, Elena felt a spark of genuine connection, though it terrified her, clashing with the image she had built of the perfect life. Days turned into weeks, and what began as a single date blossomed into a tentative relationship, one that Elena kept hidden from her judgmental friends, sneaking away for quiet evenings in Alex's world of simplicity. They wandered through bustling street markets, where vendors hawked fresh produce and handmade crafts, Alex bargaining with ease while Elena marveled at the vibrancy she had long ignored in her bubble of high-end boutiques. He cooked for her in his tiny kitchen, simple meals like pasta with herbs from his windowsill garden, and in those moments, as they sat cross-legged on his threadbare couch, sharing stories under the soft light of a single lamp, Elena felt a warmth she hadn't known since her carefree college days. But the challenges mounted like gathering storm clouds. Her colleagues whispered about her distracted demeanor at work, and when Sarah pressed for details, Elena deflected, ashamed to admit she was falling for a man who drove a beat-up truck and counted every penny. Internally, she wrestled with her ingrained fears, visions of financial struggles, echoing her mother's tearful nights after the divorce, haunted her dreams, making her question if love alone could sustain her through life's uncertainties. Alex, sensing her hesitations, never pushed, his patience a quiet anchor, but unbeknownst to her, he carried his own burdens, a secret life that explained his humble facade. Alex's disguise was no accident, a deliberate choice rooted in a past scarred by betrayal and superficial affections. As the CEO of a thriving tech conglomerate, hidden behind layers of anonymity and trusted proxies, he had built an empire from nothing, starting in his garage with innovative software that revolutionized data security for Fortune 500 companies. Wealth had come swiftly, but so had the vultures, women drawn to his status, friends exploiting his generosity, until a devastating engagement ended when his fiancée confessed her love was tied to his bank account. Heartbroken, Alex vowed to find someone who saw him for who he truly was, stripping away the trappings of success to test the waters of genuine connection. He lived dual lives. By day, orchestrating multi-million-dollar deals from a discreet office, by night, immersing himself in the mechanic's role he had once held, a grounding reminder of his roots. Meeting Elena on that blind date had been a risk, arranged through a mutual acquaintance who knew nothing of his true identity, and as their bond deepened, Alex grappled with the guilt of his deception, fearing the revelation might shatter the fragile trust they were building. Yet, in her presence, he found solace, her laughter a balm to his weary soul, and he delayed the truth, cherishing the purity of their unadorned moments. As their relationship progressed, the strains intensified, testing Elena's resolve in ways that chipped away at her polished exterior. Family gatherings became minefields. Her mother's subtle inquiries about meeting someone special led to awkward silences, and when Elena finally mentioned Alex without details, her sister's skeptical raised eyebrow spoke volumes about the expectations of marrying into equal or greater affluence. At work, a major promotion loomed, one that demanded networking at elite galas where partners were scrutinized as much as resumes, and Elena imagined the pitying glances if she arrived with a mechanic on her arm. Doubts crept in during quiet nights alone, her mind replaying societal whispers that love without security was folly, fueling arguments within herself that spilled over into subtle distances with Alex. He noticed, of course, his perceptive eyes catching the flickers of uncertainty, but he responded with unwavering kindness, surprising her with handwritten notes tucked into her bag or spontaneous picnics in hidden parks, where the city's chaos faded into birdsong and shared silences. These gestures stirred something deep within Elena, an awakening to the value of emotional richness over material wealth, but the internal conflict raged on, a battle between her heart's desires and the fears ingrained from a fractured past. The turning point came on a crisp autumn evening, when fate intervened in a cascade of revelations that would forever alter their path. Elena had invited Alex to her apartment for the first time, a sleek space filled with modern art and floor-to-ceiling windows, a stark contrast to his humble abode. As they prepared dinner together, laughter echoing off the marble counters, a sudden call from her office shattered the idyll, a crisis involving a major client, demanding her immediate attention. In her haste, she left her laptop open, and Alex, waiting patiently, glanced at the screen only to see an email thread discussing a potential merger with his own company, one where his name appeared in confidential notes. Panic surged through him, the charade could no longer hold. That night, as Elena returned exhausted, Alex confessed everything under the soft glow of her living room lamps, his voice trembling as he revealed his true identity, the hidden millionaire CEO, the empire he had built, the reasons for his disguise. Tears welled in Elena's eyes, a torrent of betrayal mixing with relief, as she processed the layers of his deception, her heart aching from the realization that her struggles had been unnecessary, yet profound in teaching her about her own biases. In the aftermath, emotions swirled like a tempest, Elena retreating into solitude to sift through the debris of her assumptions. She wandered the city streets alone, the neon lights blurring through her tears, reflecting on how Alex's humility had drawn her in, how his poverty had forced her to confront her superficial judgments, and how their connection had flourished in authenticity. Days of silence followed, each one a step toward forgiveness, until she appeared at his garage, the real one where he tinkered not for show but for peace. There, amidst the scent of oil and metal, they reconciled, Elena admitting her fears, Alex vowing transparency, their embrace a promise of a future unmasked. As months passed, their love deepened, blending her world of ambition with his of grounded wisdom, creating a partnership that inspired those around them. Elena's promotion came, but with it, a newfound balance, volunteering together at shelters, proving that wealth could amplify kindness rather than define it. In the end, as they stood on a rooftop overlooking the city that had tested them, Elena realized that true riches lay in the heart's capacity for vulnerability and growth, a lesson that left her forever changed. If this story of hidden truths and heartfelt redemption has touched your heart, please like, comment, and subscribe to Gentle Hearts. Your engagement means the world and keeps these inspiring tales coming. Before we wrap up, I'd love for you to comment below with the line, "Kindness always wins," if this tale reminded you of the beauty in second chances.